These are some originating towns and cities around America that were colonized by German settlers and people coming from England in that region as a whole. And this is around the time where this was at the more or less the end of the colonization of what we call America today. And as you can see or read, better yet, most of our smaller towns and little cities around America that a lot of people don't visit, but a lot of people are from those little towns or originate from those little small towns and whatnot, what a lot of black folks used to call sundown towns. And what a little bit of research and a due diligence seems to be, I come to find out that the particular positioning of a lot of these smaller towns with more or less the population to be 2,000 to 10,000 at the max, and that 10,000 can be spread across 2 or 3 different counties that's all in the same area of the town. So everybody know what that means. If you live in the city or wherever you live at, you can get the gist of what that may look like. Just going 5 minutes to the next side of town. You say, what you mean? Where you going with it? A lot of people, like myself, before I came into this information, looking into the Jelani Day case, don't know about sundown towns and where it originated from or where it stemmed from. And the overall cause and creation of sundown towns were after African Americans were freed from slavery and indigenous people were freed from slavery. They had nowhere to go because just so happily, coincidentally, by the time they freed all the slaves, America had colonized majority of all the land and cultivated it and turned it into little towns of their own, spreading far up north and down south, of course. So when a lot of black people were freed from slavery, a lot of them did not want to necessarily stay down south where they quote unquote dislike blacks more, even though we were free at that moment. With that being said, the white people that stayed, that already cultivated the land up north, were just or even more ruthless than the people down south that freed them, because now you had towns that were once all white. Now you had black people entering those populations and trying to make a living for themselves and building families and different situations like that. And as time progressed, things, not saying it took a turn because it was already happening where they were lynching black men and doing all this type of stuff, but it seemed like it came to a ramping point where a lot of white women, quote unquote, were being raped and brutalized by black men, quote unquote. So then the Ku Klux would round up their other members and go out to seek justice for the women that were allegedly abused by such men. this actually could be the backbone to America. Are sundown towns the backbone to America? Everything needs a backbone to be self-sufficient and run properly. So it's all these little small towns holding an oath and a pledge to the old way of life, and in return they're able to keep their own land and their own wealth and their own land, wealth, and their own way of living in their own tight-knit community. And most of them work in the city. So if you think about it, a lot of white people work in the city, but then they live outside of the city. You have to start thinking, why is that? And I'm not talking about for the majority of people, and I'm not talking about for the majority of white people. I'm talking about for the small group of people that's like judges, law enforcement, people such in that nature, a lot of teachers, people that work in colleges, and the list can go on. We're going to see if we're going to dive a little bit deeper. If y'all took the time to read, which I know a lot of people don't do these days, you may find something interesting about a town in a city near you. It's been real. Appreciate it.